What do you think Mr. Williamson wanted a recess for? I'm not sure. I don't believe him when he says he just wanted to rethink things. He's up to something. I knew that FBI man was bad. He's been using top secret as an excuse at every turn so far. If we don't find a way to break through that, he's definitely going to be a slippery one. Do you think we have enough? I'm not sure. The prosecution doesn't have much evidence, but neither do we. The whole issue with this case is that the fire destroyed everything. Excuse me, sir. I was told to bring you something. Really? From whom? Dr. Drazen wanted me to deliver this to you. I thought I could help you. I told him I might know where to find you. What is it? It's Cody's autopsy report. Tell Dr. Drazen thank you, officer. Yes, I will. Good luck in the trial, sir. Don't worry, Cody. I'll make sure we put this man away for good. First things first, read the thing 3 times. Into the bullet behind him, low caliber firearm. Okay. Court is in session again. Mr. Williamson, did you have enough time?
Yes, it was sufficient. I've rethought my case. The prosecution supports Agent Togomera's claims.
What? Williamson, are you really going along with this guy?
I know what I'm doing. Do you?
Yes, of course I do. Here I was, trying to think you actually had your priorities straight.
You seem confident about this. The defense has shown some very compelling things regarding the agent. I would like to hear a rebuttal for this. Judge, as a federal agent, I would never step outside the law in such a way. It certainly is a scary thought. Nevertheless, I want to hear your testimony about this. Certainly.
Williamson, what are you thinking?
I didn't kill Webb. I would never be stupid enough to initiate a confrontation with him. My mission was never to kill him. I wouldn't overstep that boundary. There's nothing to suggest I even entered his home. As for the witness, I stand by what I said earlier. Mr. Wright, given this man's status, I hope you can back up your claims. Your accusation here carries more weight than usual. Yes, given that, I'd say it's only fair to deliver a harsher sentence to him. After all, we know he's bluffing.
A harsher sentence? What, are they going to throw me in prison if I screw this up? Oh well, it doesn't matter. I'm not letting this guy get away. This is personal. I don't know if I can even press all the statements now. So you didn't kill him? You've just been hindering the search to find who did.
I think you misunderstand my actions. What you claim as hindering was merely foolishness. I was overeager to complete the mission and skipped a few too many corners.
That's a lie! Do you even have an alibi?
Of course I do. However, I'm not at liberty to divulge.
Damn it! Enough with this! You don't have one at all, do you?
And if I don't, what then? You still have nothing.
If you expect anyone to believe you, you'd better give yourself an alibi.
You are the one making an accusation. Let's see you prove first that he did what you say he did.
Your case holds less weight than mine does right now. Still, he's right. I need to actually back up what I'm saying.
Now how about we let me continue?
Why's that?
Why not? Why wouldn't I be stupid?
No, why wouldn't you confront him?
What was dangerous? I couldn't let him know I was onto him. I'd be dead before the week was out.
Save. If he was so dangerous, why did you never ring him in?
Are you dense? That was the whole point of my mission. I was never able to gather sufficient evidence on him.
Is it just me, or did this guy's mission parameters seem to change on a regular basis? It's not just you. I'm not seeing anything useful here. Maybe I should try something else. What exactly was your mission?
To gather incriminating evidence on Webb and all his contacts.
You said earlier that you've completed this mission. Will we be seeing more Rivala's family arrests?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
You won't even tell us that?
Stop getting off track. This isn't relevant. The success of his mission has nothing to do with whether or not he killed the victim. Sustained. Please continue your testimony.
You may be right there. The fire destroyed all evidence to the crime.
That's right.
Do we have anything that proves he was there? Nothing physical, at least. We were never able to make it onto the crime scene. Is there anything from outside the crime scene that can provide it? I don't think so. I don't think I have anything. I should keep looking for contradictions. You made up her alibi. What happened yesterday was your fault.
Let's say I did make up her cover story, which I didn't. Does that automatically mean it was for evil reasons? No. Perhaps I was just desperate to solidify the case against Books. He destroyed the crime scene and left me without evidence.
Framing someone for murder isn't evil?
Not if he did it. Of course, it was just a hypothetical scenario. Whether it was intentional or foolishness, you've ruined my case, Tukamira. I hope you're happy. Giving up so quickly, Williamson? You always were spineless.
How long have these two known each other? I don't know. Apparently longer than I realized. I don't see anything wrong here. There has to be something. Well, maybe instead of letting him control the proceedings, you should. How? He's trying to talk about Mr. Webb's murder right now. You know there's nothing solid for that, so make him talk about something else. About what? Right now, you're the most suspicious person here. It's really only your word against Mr. Books.
You're certainly persistent.
It's my job to be persistent.
And it's my job to catch dangerous criminals, not murder them in cold blood. You have nothing to show that I did it.
Well, we'll see.
You're nervous. I would be too. Now, if there isn't anything else, let's get back to my testimony.
Anything else? Anything else? Is there anything else I should bring up? Well, obviously. As a matter of fact, yes, I would like to say something more. The defense would like to make a new accusation. Well, crap. Now I have to actually make one. Take that! I'll bet you were hoping to only have to explain one murder, weren't you?
Only one? Was there more?
Yes. Yesterday, another happened right in the middle of the police department. A young man named Cody Hackins was shot.
Order! I am aware of a murder there. The police department is trying their best to recover from a tragedy like that. Hackins. I know that name. I remember him from the last trial. He was only a minor. Yes, indeed. He was too young. It shouldn't have happened to him. But Mr. Wright, are you sure the two cases are connected?
Whoever killed Mr. Webb also had plenty of reason to want Cody dead as well. Take that! Simply put, they were working together.
Working together? That boy should have known better. Do you believe you know why they were killed?
I think I do. It started with somebody being hacked.
What? Somebody hacked him to death? But I thought the victim was shot! No, Your Honor. He means his computer was hacked. But why would anybody hack a computer? Hacking is when somebody uses a website or account without the permission of the owner. That doesn't sound like it's legal. It's not, but that's never stopped criminals before. Suspicious indeed. Do you know who this hacker was?
Not hacker. Hackers.
More than one? How many?
I believe there were 2 people who had their accounts broken into.
2? Well, things are getting interesting. Now, Mr. Wright, perhaps you can fill in the details for us. Who was the first person to hack an account? whose account did they break into? So they broke into that person's account? Do you have any proof of this?
I have no idea what I'm doing!
Well, this by itself won't be enough. Do you have anything else that supports this?
I probably should have looked at this in the first place. Okay, look. Bad player got hacked one time. 30. Who uses 30? No one? Well. Samurai Justice never got hacked. Oh, 41, 43, 78, 10. Ah, dang it! Stranger of Love got hacked by Cody, and here's the proof.
After looking over everything you've presented, I'm not sure I believe your story.
You don't?
No, there are still a few holes in it. I think you need to look things over a bit more.
I hope I loaded correctly. Alright, so I forgot what this was. Crap. Ah, damn it. Load again. Okay, so Cody hacked into Stranger to Love. First off, we have the PM conversation. That was a very stupid thing to do, Samurai. You just made this huge target of yourself. And then, oops, the IP log shows that the IPs match.
Who was the second hacker?
That would be this guy. None of the IPs that hack into Bad Player match anyone else's. So, and Stranger to Love is the only one who uses a mobile device to log in every single time.
So they broke into that person's account. Do you have any proof of this?
Well, it's weak, but the, where'd it go? IP log.
Well, then, this by itself won't be enough. Do you have anything else that supports this?
Well, I don't know what the last piece of evidence actually is, so I'm gonna go with the chat log and save.
After looking over everything you've presented, I'm not sure I believe your story.
You don't? Okay, load. Alright. IP log, 500 topic, screen cap. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay. Well, he was shot. Your Honor, here's how things happened. Cody Hackins, probably going off the rumors on the site, tried to hack Stranger to Love. This is supported by both the IP log and the conversation he had with Mr. Webb. Webb realized something was up. He contacted Cody and convinced him to help.
How did he know it was Mr. Hackins?
We can see in the PM that Webb knew what Cody was up to. Cody hadn't admitted it to him yet, so how else could he have known? The same way we did. He had access to the site's IP log.
Yes, that would make sense. That was the first incident. What about the second?
The second took place after Mr. Webb was killed. Perhaps it wasn't exactly hacking. He may have just left his account open. But if you look at the last time Bad Player was used, you'll see it was after he was dead.
Sloppy. He had access to Bad Player, but didn't erase solid evidence like that conversation.
That wasn't an option. The music was already playing, so he was short on time. A more thorough check of the account wasn't possible. After that, the police were constantly monitoring who signed onto the site with the IP log, so they would have been tipped off if somebody tried using Bad Player.
Like you did yesterday.
You knew?
The account was active at your client's home. Of course I knew. And besides, how else would he have gotten that PM log?
Williamson knew about that. He was okay with it? Am I supposed to be doing his whole job for him?
So this second hacking occurred after the murder? It was his killer?
Yes! You, Togamera. You used the account to post under Bad Player's name, knowing it would create suspects out of everybody from the Flame War. After that, you just needed somebody to solidify your case against.
You think I'm stranger to love?
Funny. We already know you had access to it. You even admitted you've been using it these past few days. And the account has never been used from the same location twice. That would be easy to do if your computer was mobile. Like, say, that smartphone I always see you using.
Objection!
That isn't evidence. Yes, it barely qualifies as speculation. I was using it to gather evidence against books. You can't prove I was the original user. I don't think there's any way to prove that this user was the killer, is there?
Either Togamera is stranger to love, or stranger to love is the killer. Or I could take a third option and try to directly prove that Togamera is a killer. What should I do? I'll go with killer. Your Honor, the defense will prove that Togamera is the killer.
Very well. What is your proof for this?
Our proof is the autopsy. This particular IP chart doesn't distinguish between phones and computers, nor is there any way to show that a username, a bodiless entity, was at the crime scene. However, I can prove that Togamera is the killer.
I don't believe you for a second. There's no evidence. The crime scene was destroyed.
Only one of them. Remember that there were 2 murders, and I believe the second one contains some very solid evidence against you. This is the autopsy report for the second victim. Read here. It says that the wounds on Cody were consistent with those of Mr. Webb. That means the same type of weapon was used to kill both people.
That doesn't mean anything. A million different people could have that same type of gun.
Actually, the type of gun is just circumstantial. There's something else I'm looking at. Something much more important. We still have the bullets that killed him. Unlike the first murder, we have some very solid evidence this time.
Yes, bullets would be considered evidence. Has the forensics team done any testing on them yet? I can't say. I haven't been involved with that particular case. Well, then let's check with them. Bailiff, please contact Criminal Affairs and find out what they know.
Yes, Your Honor.
What have you found out? I have the chief detective on the phone, sir. He says they haven't done any testing on the bullets specifically, but they're ready when we are. Mr. Wright, you've led us here. I think you should decide what type of tests they perform. Testing takes time, Judge. I'd say we only have enough for one thing. Beyond that, we're just stalling. I agree. Mr. Wright, what test should they perform on the bullets?
We should check for Either ballistic markings or caliber. I think. Well, caliber's obvious. And it doesn't matter. We should check for the ballistic markings on the bullets. Since they hit a shelf of books and not something harder, they might still be fully intact. Looks like that hit a nerve. I'm getting to him. Very well. The forensics team will investigate the ballistic markings. The results are back. The police have identified the gun which killed Cody Hackins. The gun was registered for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It was assigned to Agent Nathan Togamera. What? How could... Urgh! Rather sloppy of you, considering how well you cleaned up last time. You can't prove I shot it. That wasn't me. Is there more than one Nathan Togamera in the FBI? No, Urgh! This wasn't... You don't understand. You can't prove I shot him. It was your gun. I even saw you there right before we found the body. That's why I was supposed to be there, wasn't it? I can't believe it. I've been... Right! You think you're clever? You know nothing about this. I know you killed 2 people in cold blood. That's enough for me. That shut him up real quick. Your client is accused of killing Mr. Webb, not a teenager. Don't try telling me these 2 aren't connected. 2 people collaborating together, being killed by the same weapon, is not just a coincidence. Cold blood. Fair enough. Bailiff, arrest this man. I don't believe we ever reached a definite answer on who killed the first victim. However, given this new information, I believe we have enough to go on. I will leave the rest of this trial up to the jurists. Your Honor, I confess I killed Webb, but I was entirely justified in doing so. Murder is justified? It is, if you have been assigned to do so by the federal government. What? That is completely not how the government works. That isn't justified? My superiors would argue that it is. And they have the final say here, not you. So your mission was to kill him all along. That's precisely correct. I was just following orders. No, wait a bit. I think I know enough about the judicial system to realize killing citizens is not a light matter. It would only be justifiable in a case of self-defense. Exceptions can be made for everything. Webb was dangerous. Too dangerous to take alive. No! I want a word with your superiors. When the press gets word of this, all hell will break loose, I'm sure. My failure here is going to cause the Bureau to take a lot of flack. Nobody was ever supposed to know about this. No one was supposed to know? And you're just admitting it freely? It was either that or be charged with first-degree murder. I choose what was in my own better interests. You really don't have any loyalty to anybody but yourself. By killing Webb, I've sacrificed my career for you all. The Bureau will be upset this has come to light. They'll likely strip me of my badge. May I return to them now? I don't want to prolong this anymore. I don't know. We'll have to turn you over to the FBI. I'm sure they will want to deal with this as efficiently as possible. We'll have to hold you here until then. No, that won't be necessary. That's so. United States law forbids the killing of those deemed a threat to national security. I have done no wrong. Is that part of your jurisdiction? I'm sorry, I've never had to deal with anything on this level before. He's getting away with this. He's just going to use this as an opportunity to escape. We can't let him get away. This wasn't a government hit job. What can we do? Mr. Williamson, perhaps you have a better idea of what's going on. Do we have the authority to hold him until later? If it was truly a government assignment as it says, I'm not sure we could do much. The facts will come out later, and the Bureau will have to deal with it one way or the other. Will somebody get the FBI on the phone? I want to have a word with them. It won't be necessary.
We have all the answers we need right here. Don't we, Togamera? I was hoping you'd give me the courtesy of one last testimony. I don't owe you anything. No, you don't. However, you've led me on a wild goose chase these past few days. You just confessed to murder in the front of a room full of people and went to great lengths to blame another person. So I hope you'll understand when I say I'm rather skeptical. As the prosecutor on this case, I am telling you now that is within my authority to make sure this death is fully explored. If you don't speak now, you can guarantee I will go straight to the local branch and find out. You, or your bosses, who should I hear it from? Your choice. Fine, you win. I'll talk. I confess I killed Webb. The powers that be decided he was simply too dangerous to take alive. So, I was ordered to kill him. Nothing else to discuss here. I expect a full pardon. Last chance, Williamson. You're obviously just stalling for time. Am I? Your Honor, prove me wrong here and now, or I'm leaving. I've given my explanation. There's no reason it shouldn't be sufficient. Make it fast. Yes, if we can't find anything, then you may go. But I will see it to it. You return directly to the local FBI branch. Is there any doubt?
Damn it. I guess it ends here, for better or worse. You're the one behind everything.
That's correct. I broke into Webb's house. I shot him in the head, and then burnt the place down to get rid of any evidence.
And this whole thing with Ace Fan Club? All this stuff with the Flame War?
Very convenient coincidence. It almost succeeded in giving me the cover I needed.
And the witness from yesterday?
Another coincidence.
Coincidence my leg. Coincidence my leg. I know this is a lie, but can I prove it? I don't think so. There isn't anything wrong with any of this. Would our government really hire somebody to assassinate one of its own citizens?
Would you know if they did?
Well, no, probably not. That's a scary thought. It is, but I'm not buying it. Anything wrong with this, what he just said? Nothing. There isn't anything wrong with any of this. Are we going to do that with all criminals now? Just bypass the entire judicial system?
Some people are never meant to be brought in. Webb was far too dangerous.
You're starting to sound like the last guy I faced in here.
Well, maybe he was right. You should be thankful you've never had to face the Ravalis family. Webb being gone is a blessing. It's for the greater good.
I know that's a lie. Can I prove it? You get off? Just like that?
Not exactly scot-free. I was forced to reveal everything here, so they'll be upset. I'll likely be fired. If you meant a prison sentence, then no, that won't be happening.
And Cody? The government's perfectly okay with you killing him?
Atkins was Webb's accomplice. He got in the way.
Don't you dare talk about him that way. Is there anything wrong with what I just said?
Nothing.
Anything wrong with any of this?
Keep pressing right. His testimony is rock solid.
I'm doing my best.
You're only succeeding in wasting time. You just have a little longer, and then he's gone.
Was there something I missed the first time through? Maybe I just need to look harder. Okay, so press everything further. You're the one behind everything.
That's correct.
Wait. No, this is all the same. Anything in this one? No, no change. I know that the first statement in the last one changed, so... Ah,
Mr. Wright, it seems you don't have anything to counter him with. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that I'm going to have to let Agent Tomagara leave. The defense's case is insufficient to overturn the witness's claims. I will now turn this case over to the jury. They may decide their verdict.
hang on a moment, people.
Detective?
Waters! That's right. You guys want evidence? Well, I got some.
What? You do?
Yeah, Wright had me check some number last night. I made a few calls and did a bit of research. And I think I know what it was.
What number? What are you talking about?
You want to know what it is? It's an Interpol ID number.
You don't mean...
Yeah, looks like Webb was an undercover Interpol agent. I called him up, and they confirmed it. He wasn't supposed to let anybody know, not even the police here.
An Interpol agent? That's amazing!
Yeah, well get this. His mission was investigating corrupt officials working on the payroll of the Ravalis family.
So he wasn't a criminal after all?
Ha! I knew it! Webb wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't working for the family. He was working against them. Thank you, Waters. That's just what I needed. Yeah, thank me later. Just do your thing and finish this. You get off just like that? Aha! I found your lie. This evidence shows a flaw with what you're saying. An interesting hypothesis. You think so?
Yes, interesting in the same way circus fun is interesting.
So, that's not what I was looking for?
Let me confer with my superiors. Nope, they agree that you're an idiot.
I didn't ask for their opinion.
Any more guessing and I'm gone. You clearly don't know what you're doing.
I do. I just don't have anything to prove it. Alright, I guess not that one. Everything makes sense now. It wasn't Webb working for the Ravalis family. It was you. You are the one who has been covering for them.
So this whole investigation has been a cover-up to protect himself.
That's right, Your Honor. It wasn't about e-stalking or fame or anything of that. It was because his account, Stranger to Love, had been broken into. And now Interpol agent Webb had access to every incriminating thing he'd ever written.
But what about the FBI case? Somebody should have caught on that it was fake.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I don't know too much, but the FBI man had a whole case of files on him. So it must have been pretty bad.
Remember how he had the screen cap and witnesses forged? That's exactly what he did with those files. With that much backing you up, who would ever bother to question it?
You can't prove this. Stranger to Love is gone, remember? So even if Sims wanted to, he couldn't let you use it to find out.
You're right. But we won't need Stranger to Love. There's somebody else we can get information from. And that's this person. Ursa Major 777. Another Ravalis family account on the site. And one I know you've been talking to.
That's gone. If the family took down Stranger to Love, they would have erased that too.
Well, how about we find out? It can't hurt to look. Your Honor, the defense requests to have Ursa Major's account checked.
Understood. Bailiff, get Mr. Sims. I want him to help us here. They didn't take it down, did they? Something tells me it's still there. He wanted this to happen. Mandira set me up.
Is that a confession?
Call it whatever you want. Confession works just fine by me.
Ah! Where did he get that?
FBI agent. I convinced the bailiff to give me special permission to keep it. You know, as a backup plan. You may have exposed me, but you won't be bringing me in today. Somebody do something! No, nobody move an inch. You're going to stay where you are, and I'm going to leave. Anybody moves, and they die. Sorry, that's mine. Silly text messages always come in at the strangest times. Togamira, if you put down the gun, perhaps you can leave this courtroom alive. I don't think you're in a position to bargain right now. That's where you're wrong. After all these years, I've trapped you. I'll admit, your little excuse about a government mission almost worked. Too bad for you, you didn't take the opportunity to leave then. What do you mean? Would you believe me if I told you the Federal Bureau is waiting right outside? That was them calling my phone right now. They have the place surrounded. What? I called the local branch during our recess and notified them. Did you really think your testimony wouldn't attract suspicion? Nonsense! They wouldn't just sit back this whole time and wait! They didn't. They just got here. That's where Wright came into the picture. Huh? He didn't realize it, but these past few testimonies have been nothing more than an attempt to stall you until they arrived. And it seems you had it figured out, but were too vain to do anything. You could have walked away at any time and used your friends to disappear off the map. But you didn't. So really, you have nobody to blame for this outcome but yourself. It seems that in your effort to pin the blame on books, you have convicted yourself. No, that's not true. That's impossible. No!
There is no way I could have kept that going that long.
Interpol's been after me for a while. Love had been trying to build a case, but I never gave him enough for a warrant. My Rivala's contacts have always been able to cover for me, just as I used my influence as a federal agent to cover for them. It wasn't anything more than a nuisance, so I never had a reason to take action. Then one day, something unexpected happened.
Cody.
Yes, that Hackins kid broke into Stranger to Love. We had leverage over Sims, so we were using the site to communicate. So when Hackins got in, he suddenly had access to everything I'd ever sent the family. That's when Webb contacted me. He told me that he'd been in my account and would have a warrant out within the week. It was a lie, of course. He didn't break in. It was the kid. I got rid of what I could, but it wasn't enough. The two knew too much and had to be eliminated.
A full week? Why did it take so long?
He did alert his people at Interpol. Too bad for him, they couldn't spare any reinforcements at the time. The local police have a questionable relationship with the family. He had to figure out who he could trust first. Until then, it would be just him. During that week, he spent a lot of time staked out by Hackins' home. It made it hard to get to him.
But why did he need to confront you about it? That's what killed him.
You're right. It was foolish to risk himself for somebody else like that.
What?
You heard me. Webb was a trained international agent. He knew that was risky, but he did it anyway. I'm betting he did it to protect Hackins. Hackins had already gotten involved when he hacked my account, so there was no turning back. I can't say whether he suspected my true identity, or if he was just fooling around. It doesn't matter. After that, Webb only had one option available: to draw all my attention over to himself. Before he died, Webb arranged for Hackins to be taken into the police. He didn't tell them much, but it wasn't to be arrested. It was for protection. From me. His silly ploy didn't work though, since I'd gotten the site's IP log from Sims. Stupid man. Lost his life for nothing, because we got them both in the end. You make me sick! Don't be such a drama queen, Williamson. You won. You two got me. Oh, and Wright?
Yes?
Word of caution. I'd watch my back if I was you. You've just made some very powerful enemies. Bailiff, what is the status of Agent Gamera? He's been arrested, Your Honor. The Bureau has taken custody of him. It seems he had even his superiors convinced of Webb's criminality. Those were some rather convincing documents he had. I see. He must have had a lot of experience with forgeries. Yes, it seems so. Answers a lot of my own questions about him. What about the witness, Mr. Sims? He was just as much a victim as those other two were. He and his mother will be taken into the witness protection program. Nothing will happen to either of them. Williamson, you said earlier that you've known Tamagara for a long time. Togamera. He was a witness in a case I took several years back. Nothing you need to be concerned with. And this whole time I was just a distraction? Not just. You were able to extract a confession. I'm sure the Bureau will be thankful for that. And beyond that, you kept him here, rather than walking out. Had that happened, he may have escaped for good. I had to keep you out of the loop so that you would put on a convincing show. Being out of the loop. You're welcome for that. Yes. And perhaps I also just wanted to see you squirm. You would. I've been convinced for a while that man was a pawn of the Ravalas family. It's not easy for me to say this, but thank you, Wright. It's good to see him finally behind bars. Oh, well, you're welcome. Of course, that's not to say I don't realize you weren't thinking about that today. You only had your own selfish goals in mind. Still, you did your part. You know, this wasn't the first time I could have ended the trial in my favor. Yesterday, I could have had your witness indicted. But I didn't. Never mind, guess he's still too stubborn to change his mind. Your Honor, the jury have reached their verdict. Ah, yes, thank you. It is unanimous. This court finds the defendant, Edmund Brooks. Court is adjourned.
Alright! Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, strikes again! Great justice has been served! Did you see that? Did you see that? I certainly hope I lived up to your expectations. Lived up to them? You blew them away! I can die happy now! Looks like I made his day in more ways than just a not guilty verdict. Although, there's one thing you never solved. But maybe even you can't. What's that? Well, I'll still never get to apologize to him. Mr. Brooks, you shouldn't be so quick to throw this friendship out the window. But he told me to leave and not come back. He said he didn't want me around anymore. Yes, but not for the reason you think. Nick and I found something yesterday while we were on his account. I think you should see it. He was going to send that to me? He never got the chance. It looks like he was writing it around the time he was shot. But that means he knew I was just joking. He didn't hate me after all. You really do have the answers for everything. We should all go get burgers to celebrate. Nick's buying. What? Maya? Wow, thanks, Phoenix Wright. It's settled then. Come on. Wait, Maya. How much has changed in 8 years? But at the same time, so little. Ah. Well, there's the end of one more case. Creepy reporter guy interviews girl and publishes article about case, end quote. When AF found out, they instantly crowned me hero of the Intersphere for single-handedly taking down a genocidal maniac. I'll admit I may have embellished my role it a bit. I guess I have Mr. Wright to thank for it. There are girls! There are girls on the internet! An entire fan club of Wright worshippers. You know, I'm surprised I didn't hear more complaining about that from Boss Man. He must just be bottling that one up or something.
Well, I'm certainly glad I could help with the trial today. I wish I could have seen that brave lawyer's face as he exposed the killer. What was his name? Payne? No, that's not it. It started with a W. Winston? Oh, maybe it was Payne after all. I wish I could have seen Mr. Payne.
I was busy helping Maya this time, but I can't wait to help with the next case. Although Polly does need somebody to look after him, so maybe not the next one. But the one after that, I'm definitely helping Daddy after that.
Well, he's done it again. In the 2 cases we've worked on, Wright's managed to put away a serial killer and a corrupt federal agent. I'll admit, I'm beginning to see where he got that reputation. But don't tell him I said that!
Oh, nice. Bad Blair contributed more than just his name. I was up late again last night on AF. We might have to disconnect our internet service or I'm never going to get anything done. Well, I haven't gotten any copyright claims from these at least. Or these. Or this, I guess. Screw this song, though.
Attack the Necromancer King with your paladin. Something smells. What are you doing? Our flank is exposed now. Magic panties, can you buff me? Thanks. Okay, Love machine, cover the throne room so they don't swarm us. Something smells. What are you doing? We need to do this as a team. Oh no. Guys, I need some...
I don't know what that said. I'm gonna have to pause this. Ah, here's the bit.
Yes?
Mr. Mendez. And Therese.
Agent Togamera has just been arrested. Yes, I know. Shouldn't we be concerned? We just lost one of our most powerful allies. No, he's been more of a burden lately. He knew far too much and had let it go to his head. Thought he was more important than he actually was. Tried to get too involved, if you will. I guess I see your point. It was foolish of him to kill that Hackins kid. What's funny, sir? Togamera needed the kid out of the way, but had no way of getting to him. So I had him lend me his gun. He didn't kill Hackins. I did.
I don't